Welcome, welcome, guys. Hi. Fingers crossed the technology will be kind to us and we can continue streaming. Thank you so much for joining us and for being patient. Today, we are going to be talking about resilience and we are going to be talking very authentically, fingers crossed, with Simon Payne, my old friend who is a successful coach and also, someone who I deeply respect and admire. Simon is a stroke survivor, and today we will be talking about resilience and why is it important in life. We will be talking about authentically about how fingers crossed Simon is able to join us, how Simon got through probably the most challenging stages of his life where he frankly had to rebuild his life completely and hold on for dear life just to get through, and what it gave him, this experience, and how he gained resilience and why resilience is important in our lives, and what does it actually give us. So I want to welcome you all. In the meantime, I will be trying my best to bring a Simon on a camera. I am welcoming you all. Let us know in a comments where are you joining us from, and in a moment we will continue to actually talk about resilience. Give me just a few minutes. I'm going to try to join Simon on a camera. Okay. Okay, Simon. So I now sent you an invitation. So fingers crossed it's going to come your side. I'm really glad that it worked technologically on my side. So fingers crossed you will be with me shortly. And in the meantime, I'm just going to briefly introduce myself. My name is Lucia Hoxa. I have been in a coaching industry for the past 20 years, supporting women all over the world, especially in areas of their relationships, including relationship with themselves. I'm someone who is a stand for you to live the life you love. I love what I do, and I love people. I feel absolutely fascinated about the kind of results that you do, and I think I will keep on doing it till the day I die, because it just makes sense for me. And you know sharing the light, which is actually my name, is probably now such an essential part of me that is natural to me, just like breathing. So and this streaming is pretty much about talking authentically about things that are important in life. We started it, I think, 7 years ago with Martina, and we continue receiving messages from you that are inspiring us to continue to kind of be um, creating new content that is present in your life. And so I keep on listening to you, what you are dealing with, what you are dealing with in your lives, and according to that, I you inspire me, and then I co-create the content, and then we go live every second Friday to reach out to you, to connect, to make sure that um, nobody has to be alone with whatever they are dealing with in life. And so we are here to join you, to contribute, and to bring a value as much as a good time, and maybe something new that will, even if you hear one sentence that is going to make some kind of difference or make you think about something newly that is going to contribute to your world, that's good enough for us. So that's a little bit about me and what I do, what I love doing. And now let me know where you're joining us from. And in the meantime, Simon, I'm looking for your message here to make sure that I connect you in. So the okay, so we are back here. Sorry, guys. So Simon, I send you an invitation. Fingers crossed you get it. In the meantime, we are just going to continue and just to make sure that those of you who created time on this Friday afternoon are going to receive as much content and as much value as possible, because that's my aim. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, guys, I want to ask you, what do you think resilience is? What resilience mean in your life? What is this thing called resilience, and why do you feel it's important to us in life? So Simon just sent me a message. He's here still trying. Simon, an invitation has been sent to you, so fingers crossed it will appear somewhere on your camera or either computer or a phone, and then it should be as easy as clicking that thing, and you will be with us. In the meantime, honey, we are going to continue, although I so want you to be here with us. So, guys, I was asking, what is resilience? What is really resilience for you? Um, for me, just a little bit of share. Probably one of the way how I find that I build resilience in life, although it's a process and it keeps on going. Of course, we are growing all the time. Same as me, I grow all the time. But I think it was the times when I was about 27, 28 years old, so quite a few years ago now, when I was separating from my first husband, and going through the process of not only separation but the whole thing. For me, it was very. I would say even like as I would go as far as like traumatic experience, because it wasn't. I actually had to run away. I was homeless for some time. I didn't know what will happen next day, how I will live, where will I sleep. I was isolated from the world. The whole experience was, I was in a different country, not in my own country. My parents had no idea what's going on, even my close friends. So yeah, it was very challenging time of my life, where I dare to say, similar to Simon, who we hope that he will join us, as a stroke survivor. I believe he also had to, during the most challenging times of his life, hold on to their life. And sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes in life serves you the challenges that you can either see as obstacles, and they will bring you down, and you kind of ends there, in a sense that it brings you down, and some people never find the way out, or you somehow find the capacity, the support structure, the system to get you out of this space, and you find a way out, and find this whole experience as an opportunity to expand as a human being, and to grow as a person, and to maybe even create something amazingly beautiful. I remember, when I was kind of there was December 2003, I think, where I was with these two bin bags on a street, and I had no idea. I had nowhere to sleep. I was outside, and I had all these layers of clothes, and I really had no plan. But what was important to me at that time, what was important to me was that I felt free. I felt free. I didn't feel scared anymore. And in that new space of kind of freedom, this amazing peace came to me, and it felt so beautiful and loving. And in that moment, I think I had something that it came out of nowhere in this peaceful moment. It was maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. What happened is that it wasn't a voice, but it was a thought came to me that said to me something like, "Don't be scared, all is well, and something beautiful is going to come out of it." and I had no idea what it means, but it was very soothing feeling. It was almost like someone up there was taking care of me. And inside of that moment of this high uncertainty, I felt tremendous amount of love and warmth, in spite of the cold weather that was coming from somewhere, but mainly from within myself. And I believe hard times and challenging moments happen afterwards. I got very sick, and I remember, I don't actually remember 2 weeks of my life after that. I remember my kind friend took me in, and it was coming close to Christmas at the time. And I remember the first thing after I recovered from my illness, I remember was the Christmas tree lights in her hallway. I kind of woke up. I think I was sleeping. I woke up. There was no one in her house, and I saw these lights, and I still remember the feeling. It was so magical. I never. Sometimes in the situations that are so hard in our lives, these moments of true aliveness and magic just appear, and that was my moment of magic, and of the kind of moment that I will probably never forget in my life, because I felt like I was truly, almost like reborn at that time, and nothing will replace that experience. Um, and then, yes, the recovery time came, and it took quite some time till I was able to kind of rebuild myself, and remember who I am. And because at the time, my self-esteem and who I was, being in controlled relationship that was so um, difficult to, being very successful young woman, like teenage woman, um, and then go from that to someone who didn't even believe that she can make a good cup of tea because she's been told she's this, and that. I lost every ounce of my self-esteem, and um, I got to the point when I was walking down the street, and I had some lady, stranger, give me a smile on the street, and I was kind of like turning around, thinking, no, she must be smiling to someone else because I don't deserve it. And I went from that slowly, just kind of realizing, of course, that's not true, and there is life out there, and there is, different kind of men out there, and there is a possibility to live a different life. Like, I don't have to be in this, box. There's so much more. There is so much more to life, and so I started exploring. That's actually what brought me to coaching. Oh my God, Simon might be joining in. Simon, I'm sending you an invitation because I'm so excited about this actually happening today. Let's see. So, this is a little bit of my story, and I can tell you a little bit much more about this story. But the main point is that no matter what is happening in our lives, through building resilience, through, looking at no matter what challenge comes across, some of the things we can't influence at all, but no matter what is happening, we can always turn it around and actually make something beautiful. Like, if that wouldn't happen in my life, I don't think I would ever have a life that I have. I wouldn't even be doing this, guys. My love towards people, and stemmed from that one experience that had a knock-on effect on, the fact that I started studying psychology, I started doing coaching, I started reaching out to people and like feeling people, and my intuition, and everything else. Simon, I just sent you an invite. I send it again. All you need is just to, I'm unable to add guest. Saying you can't join me at this time. Okay, I thought it was on already clicking like it does when someone is joining me on a streaming. Sam and I will keep on trying, but in this point it's not possible. So I will just continue and saying hello to all of you today. We are talking about resilience, and I was just sharing a little bit of my story where, one moment of my life where I found that I really build resilience. And I dare to say that I found out a lot of things about myself. Definitely, I found out that I've got this capacity to almost like fight back, but not with, that masculine fight, but with love, through love. And also, so many times in my life, I realized that love is the strongest force, no matter what we deal with, or even in conflict resolution with people. I had a great coaching call. I just want to share this with you, and then I talk a little bit more about resilience theory. But I thought I shared this with you last week. Or this week actually, I had a coaching call with one of my clients. Obviously, it's confidential, but it was a lady who had real conflict with her parents, and talking about love, right? And she really, most of us, and rightly so, we are human beings. Okay, it's very normal that we get to this situation where we feel, yes, but why should I apologize? Why should I reach out? She should, she told me those things. She did say that, and it was painful, and why should I be the one who opens my heart, and yet again. And and we went through the process of uh, at the end of the coaching call, she shifted her energy. It was so amazing how bravely she kind of done that through this process. And amazing thing was talking about love. What happened is that then I had another call, and then 1 hour afterwards I got this message saying, Lucia, guess what happened? Like, my father called me to say he loves me. And then my mom said the same. And and I was reading that message, and I was thinking, okay, well, this is the power of love in practice, in real life. you know all we need to do sometimes is to shift energetically what we feel towards people, not on superficial level, but on authentic, like authentically kind of process it, the whole thing inside us, and then literally miracles happen inside of that space. So I just wanted to share that with you because this came to me, and it's a lot to do with resilience, because I believe that at the times where, or at least for me and many of my clients as well, when we get to the crossroads of our lives and we feel lost, we feel like, there's something we need to do, but we are not sure what, or we are dealing with um, something concrete, like a loss of a loved one, or loss of a job, or divorce, or whatever it is. Uh, we have a tendency to feel disempowered because our plans suddenly collapse. Our life that we shaped a certain way suddenly disappeared. We lose the ground underneath our feet, and we are no longer sure about what will happen next, or who we are, or what we should do or not do. And that's a very scary thing, because normally, ideally, I would like to go certain direction, and if that is interrupted, then we need to adjust. But a lot of times we don't know how. So resilience is a big part of this, and life, let's face it, is giving us constant opportunities to adjust and readjust, and face the fears, and you know communicate with people who are challenging us, even like the closest people, partners, moms, dads, our children. So, resilience is a big part of it, because what resilience actually means, and a little bit of theory around it, is that, in a crisis, in a life crisis, where we feel like a illness or loss of a loved one, or abusive relationship, bullying, job loss, all those kind of things. um, there is, resilience is all about how we learn to cope and work through these very challenging life experiences. And I think, how we go through this process, dealing with these challenging times, that's pretty much what shapes the rest of our life. Because it's almost like, I don't know, I always picture it like God gives you kind of opportunity, and it is an opportunity. It's just we see it as, oh my God, why me? Why now? I've got one of the ladies who I'm talking after this streaming. She's just getting married. Life looks wonderful, but inside there is something deeply disturbing happening for her. So on a surface, it looks really great on a surface, but deep inside, she's almost like 5 to 12. That something needs to change in her life in order for her life not to collapse like a like a pack of cards. And sometimes these things happen in life. So what do we do? What your coping mechanisms are. This is actually a question, like, this is not rhetorical question, but what do you do in life when life serves you like the most challenging things? And by the way, we all have a different coping mechanisms. The very nature of a human being is, um, is the famously known, like fight, flight, or freeze. Okay, what do you guys experience when something happens like in life? It of course varies of the situation, but I know that for me personally, um, it's sometimes it's a freeze because it's a shock, but then I kind of very quickly go into, solving problem, like kind of fight mode. So I kind of approach it head on, and that's very, courageous thing. Some of us do that, but many people, and maybe even majority of people, choose to flight, means hide from the situation, or and it's different ways how we hide, by the way. We keep ourselves busy, or we pretend even to ourselves that all is well, that nothing is happening, it's not that bad. uh, and that's normal. That's very normal and protective way how we cope in our brain, how we try to protect ourselves in order to create the kind of story, so we don't have to deal with discomfort of looking into what is really not working in our life. The cost is that thing is still not working, and the impact is that it's got a tendency to kind of accumulate and get worse if we don't, look at it. On the other side, when we have a courage to look at the situation that is not working in our life, or not working as well as we would like to, yes, it is very courageous and it takes courage. On the other hand, there is the new sense of freedom, the new sense of the kind of life and experience of life, genuinely, that you never thought it's even possible. Like, it's never been even something that you would create for yourself because you've never been thinking about that. But now it's readily available and you can feel it. And it's not like you have to try, but you wake up with that feeling every morning. That's what I love doing, what I do, because that is transformational effect good coaches do and offer to their clients. Anyway, a little bit about resilience. So when we talk about resilience, Simon, I saw your message, by the way. So I just want to say thank you so much for trying. I will call you after I finish next call, connect with you. But in the meantime, I will continue just so I can bring the value, unfortunately without Simon, but at least, on this video this way. So talking about resilience, we have different kinds of resilience, and that's what kind of, there are 5 main principles of how we build resilience inside ourselves. So it's through the several kind of plays. It's first of all, it's gratitude. Is something that I always drawn into just when I feel low. Is the almost instant energy shifter when you feel that your life is kind of going tits up and things stop making sense. The very best tool to get into a new headspace and zone, which is going to actually serve you, is to bring yourself into simplicity, feeling the gratitude for all the things that are good, even if they are the smallest, previously unimportant things that you didn't even notice in life. You know, just the sheer fact that you are alive, that just the sheer fact that you can actually, walk out from this coffee shop. Sorry, guys, I've got a coffee machine in the back, but you know, that you can walk out of these doors and you can use your own lives. Then, so it's gratitude, it's compassion. And I want to very importantly mention compassion, not just towards, other people, that you feel compassionate towards other people. We are often very good, especially ladies. I work with women all over the world, and over those years, I realized that we are very good in feeling, we are much better at least, feeling compassion towards other people. But we are often lacking our compassion towards ourselves. It's so, so common, especially with women. Another thing that helps to build resilience is acceptance. And I often talk about acceptance, and I want to say the most important thing here is acceptance is not that you give up. Please do not collapse these two. Acceptance is fully in your heart, receiving and surrendering to the fact how the things are right now. So there is no clash. There is no part of yourself going or thinking or saying, yes, but it shouldn't be that way. Yes, but he's wrong and I'm right. Yes, but in an ideal world, I want a different kind of life in this stage of my life. Yeah? So acceptance is fully, wholeheartedly accepting where you're right now, knowing that there is a plenty you can do about it. But acceptance comes before you start thinking what to do about it. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you are building your life on kind of very on a pile of crap, basically, that will be in your way if you want to create your new life. In fact, unless we let go of something that is standing in our way, it's not even possible to have, and those new opportunities won't even come because there's no space. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if it makes sense. I hope I'm not missing your comments, because let me know. Okay, so here are the top factors that I find that build resilience as such. I'm just got a few notes here from the article I wrote. So first of all is the ways we view and engage with the world. Of course, you notice that, and it depends on the day, right? Like sometimes we have a good day and we see the world kind of through the different lens, and it's normal, right? But in general, different personalities, different life experience, we have a certain filter through which we can see and perceive the world. You know, the people around us, the behaviors, the stories we create from the experience that happened to us in our own very life. And of course, the older we are, the more stories and the more baggage potentially we have. Also, the attributes that contribute to personal sense of resilience is ability and quality of social resources. So who you are being surrounded by, who is in your close, mostly daily environment, who is interacting with you, who is giving you kind of reflection and sense of who you really are, because we create a story about who we are um, according to the experiences, according to the feedback we get, according to the stories we create in our heads about the experiences that we had with other people. So other people are giving us all the time, day by day, the mirror of who we truly are. So that's another kind of factor that contributes to how we build resilience. And the third is very specific, and this is very personal to each and every single one of us, coping strategies we have to, you know, act in particular situations in life that are challenging for us. So, and that can be very, very different. As I mentioned earlier, you know, you can be someone who just takes it like, okay, I got made redundant and I'm going to, you know, hop on a computer and see what is out there to make sure that I get back on a career, you know, path back on. And you know, you can be one of them, or it can knock you out and you can cry your eyes out, and it will take you quite some time to even get your head around it, and you will see it as a, you know, you will make a sense out of it, thinking you are worthless and you know you've done something wrong, and you start blaming this blaming cycle, and it will extend the time till you will be finally ready. It can, you know, I had a clients who've been completely knocked out of their feet being made redundant, and it took them a really long time till they finally be ready to kind of see that as a positive thing, that an opportunity to create a brand new career for themselves. So really, it depends. We are all so different, guys. You know, very, very unique people, and so it depends on our coping strategies. Uh, According to resilience theory, when I done a little bit of research, now theoretical part, but hopefully some of it will resonate and it will contribute to you in some kind of way. Other factors that can help and are very important from my point of view as well. Building resilience in life, meaning no matter what shit hits the fan, you are going to get through and create something amazing out of it. Not just get through. You know, you see, like I understand for my people, not just to get through it. You will get through it. You will survive somehow, some way. But what kind of impact got it on you? You know, this is the thing. Like in ideal world, we want resilience to be something that we build over a period of time through our challenging experiences, and then every time where we get a little bounce on a way through our life, it makes us, it expand our capacity to feel, to love, to cherish, to create, to inspire. You know, this is how my kind of brain is now very natural, wired up. And don't take me wrong, guys, I've got a bump still. Like I've got big bumps in my life even now. And some of them knock me down still. It's not like straight away I'm like, okay, next. Many smaller things, yes, that's how it is now, because it's just I'm trained that way, even doing what I'm doing. But you know, I authentically walking my talk. But you know, sometimes I'm being knocked down. But the important thing is, you know, to give yourself time and space to process and to bring yourself back up, and maybe ask yourself those right questions, like, okay, this happened, it is what it is. What is the opportunity here? What can I learn from this situation? Why did it actually happen to me? You know, what is that someone up there trying to tell me or serve me actually with this kind of situation, so I can move forward in my life and I can live much more fulfilling life that is going to bring me tremendous amounts of joy and you know, even to people around me. So you know, resilience is a lot to do with social support, is a lot to do with your self-esteem. You know, those internal conversation that you are having with yourself and which no one is listening to. That's the one that is very important, that you nourish, you notice first of all, you get a present to how important it is, and then slowly you shift and change. Many years ago when I started coaching, I remember I had one of my first clients, and I done this exercise. I gave her this exercise because she had a very destructive self-talk. By the way, most of us have. Like, I don't think there's a person in the world, well, maybe few, very few, who naturally been born to just talking to themselves nicely, even if they cock up something. Mostly is like dark streets of Istanbul. It's not exactly empowering naturally the way we talk to ourselves in our heads. But like this kind of it was very similar to this, and it was very destructive the way she was talking to herself, and she had this exercise, like this homework, to every time she starts speaking to herself that way, like shift her voice in her head into that kind of Mickey Mouse voice. I'm in a coffee shop, but where that voice in her head is speaking, like it would be something like that. It's like, "You're such a stupid cow. You're such an idiot." Like change the voice in the head in order to kind of start the pattern, the shift the process, the shift the listening to yourself, like make almost like fun of yourself and your internal monologue, so the brain gets the message. It can't actually it doesn't have to listen to it as actual reality, because when something is not working in our life, we have to disturb some kind of pattern. And if our self-talk, which is directly impacting our self-esteem and the way we view ourselves, when we interrupt that pattern, then we have opportunity to recreate or create something else that is going to actually serve us better, because our life and quality of our life can never exceed, in a positive way, the way we actually view ourselves. So with other words, the way we view ourselves, who we are, the quality of the kind of human being we are, is directly connected with the quality of our life and the way we cope in challenging times in our lives, and that's a lot to do with resilience. Coping skills, I already mentioned, that is very individual to all of us. It's very good to know and to be aware and kind of conscious about what's your coping mechanisms in life when things get hard, and the way you can do it. And it's very good to know about yourself, because again, raising awareness about yourself is going to help you in future in understanding, being self-esteem, being self-aware. That's a big part of what is helping you in life. Just kind of understand yourself, how you're dealing with things, because then, and the way to do it, sorry, I just go step back. The way to do it is, Simon is saying invite me. I try again, sorry guys. Simon, I can't invite you right now. But try to do what you've done before, where it started flicking to me that you want to join me on the camera, okay? Because we've been almost there then. Sorry guys, our dear Simon is trying to join us still. So while I'm waiting, Simon, I'm just going to continue. So what I wanted to say is the way to know how you or be aware how you cope with challenging situations in life is to try to remember the challenging situations in your life and who you've been. How did you operate then? What resources did you use? And it's very healthy even to write it down, because just by simply writing it down, you will get more clarity about, what do I do when life gets hard, and that alone will give you very good tools and very good knowledge about yourself that is going to help you to get through next challenging state in your life, or even the state where you are in now, if that's a challenging one. And that will literally remind you of who you truly are and your capacity to to get through things. Very important thing is, of course, communication skills and what capacity we have for that. Very often, guys, it happens to me that my clients have no idea that whichever way they communicate is actually not effective. They have no idea. They get a, you know, they get the outcome from people from outside world, which is not, you know, moving them forward, or, you know, clashing, or is cause of the conflicts. But they, of course, you know, from their perspective, they are doing the best they can, but in fact they are not, you know, trained. And this is another very important thing about resilience and about growing as a personality, to learn about yourself and about people, how to relate to people in kind of in terms of relationships, to communicate in such a way that it's landing with other person in a way that you really wished it to land, and creating the kind of outcomes that you wish both parties to receive in such a way that everybody wins. Because in relationships, that's, I think, the most important thing, that there is honesty, there is a genuine connection, there's that feeling of freedom, there's nothing to hide. But let's face it, you know, especially I was talking to my friend the other day, and relationships are so challenging right now. There is a baggage one person's got stemming from their past, and there is a baggage that other person's got stemming from their past, and then these two people are supposed to be together and work together, or live together, or you know, bring up the children together, and it can be so messy. And unless we get behind all this and really find a way, and a lot of times it is so difficult when we do it ourselves, when we are not being supported from coach therapists, just so we can get a clarity about what is really going on for other person and for us. So that's why it's so important we are not alone in this whole thing. And then another thing that I wanted to, maybe one of the last things mention, is emotional regulation. It's very sounds very theoretical, but what I mean by that is really, as women, we know we are like a, you know, like ocean. We are kind of unpredictable and hormonal, and emotions takes the charge of us many of times. And let's face it, girls, like many times we say things we don't plan to say, and we kind of do things that we then have to, we are not that proud about, you know. They don't give us the outcome we truly desire. And you know, that's all okay, like, because we are human beings. It's so important to know that our emotions don't have to, you know, take the charge and of our lives, and we actually have option, and we have a choice to learn how to manage them in such a way that we still feel, you know, beautifully feminine and emotional, but this time our emotions are serving us to experience life on a deeper level, but not, you know, being in a way in terms of, you know, causing damage everywhere around us, especially those people we love the most, as we know it often happens. So much to tell you about, you know, resilience and why is it important. Well, maybe I will just say resilience towards the end of our stream here. Resilience is really important because we all need it to have emotional, mental strength to get through the barriers, and especially in the face of adversity and hardship in life. Resilient people utilize their resources and strengths and skills to overcome any kind of challenge. And, you know, I would like to encourage you to share with me, like, what kind of strategies do you use? What kind of tools help you to overcome challenges in life? What, you know, what makes sense for you to do in those moments of life when you are unclear, uncertain, not sure. um, we all are very different people, and we all, but at the same time we all have absolute right to, and we've been born, by the way, to not to suffer, but opposite, to be able to enjoy and utilize this life that we have in such a way that we live fulfilling life, ideally in connection with others, in beautiful, loving relationships with those people that we are surrounded by. And maybe towards the end of this streaming about resilience, I want to say that I wish all of you to keep on growing, keep on feeling that life is really this magical place where anything is being possible, and really have that not as a theory or some kind of nice quote on Facebook, but as something that is real for you, because when it's so easy to get wrapped up in this, rat race of life, of daily kind of mundane tasks. And you and I know how fast the weeks are going, and how easy is it to grow old without realizing that a lot of that time was wasted. So I wish all of us and all of you to um, for life to treat you kindly, but to give you enough challenges in such a way that you can expand and grow and surprise yourself about who you truly are, in terms being extraordinary human being who is able to overcome the challenges and really be deep inside, like here in your heart, proud about who you are as a person. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you so much for being patient. Apologies about Simon not being able to be with us. We will try to create something so I am able to bring you his story, and inspire you all about this extraordinary man who unfortunately today wasn't able to join us, but we'll create something that he can do that in later stages. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone, and I will see you in a couple of weeks' time again. Bye for now.